So operating system, a program that controls the execution of the application programs. A program means an operating system is controlling the execution of application programs like C programs, C++ programs, file system, and etc. And interface between the application and the hardware. So it is an interface between the application and the hardware. Main objectives of the operating system. Operating system is convenient to use. It is very much efficient. That means your user can utilize all the resources very much efficiently. It has the ability to evolve. That means you can add new functions in the operating system without disturbing the old services in OS without disturbing old services. Like the Windows 11 has come up from 10.9. So what is happening? Windows is evolving. What is an operating system? A program that acts as an intermediary, that means a middle person, between a user of a computer and the user hardware. So it is acting as an interface between the user applications and also the hardware, the computer hardware. So it is as an intermediary, means it is a middle person. Okay, so the middleman. Operating system goals: execute user programs and make solving the user problems easier. So you should execute. Operating system will execute the programs, like the C programs will be executed by the OS, and it will make the solving the user problems easier. Make the computer system efficient to use. How can it make it efficient to use? It will connect the hardware with the applications and thereby making the computer system efficient, convenient to use. Also the computer hardware, it will use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. Computer system structures. The computer system can be divided into 4 components. You have the hardware, operating system, application programs, and the users. So hardware provides the basic computing resources like the CPU. So CPU is a part of the hardware, central processing unit. Memory. Memory means there are 2 types of memory: random access memory, RAM, and read-only memory, ROM. And the input output devices. So CPU, memory, IO devices come under hardware. Operating system controls and coordinates the use of hardware among various applications and the users. So it is coordinating the hardware with the application, user application. So it is what? It is an intermediary or interface or a middleman between the application programs and the hardware. Application programs define the way in which the system resources are used to solve the computing problems of the user. So how you are designing the system resources so that the user problems can be solved. For example, word processors, compilers, you have web browsers like the Google Chrome. Then you have database systems like the SQL, live SQL server, then video games. So all these are resources, and these resources help the user to compute, to solve their problems. User can be people like us, machines, and other computers. So users can be people, they can be machines, they can be other computers also. Now 4 components of a computer system. Suppose there is a user 1, 2, 3 till user n. Okay, user 1 is using a compiler, and this is the computer hardware. User 2 is using a assembler, system or application programs. User 3 is using a text editor like the word processor, and database like the SQL, suppose. So user n is using a database SQL. This database SQL has to connect with the computer hardware. Who is the middle person? The operating system. Word processor or text editor is an application program, has to connect with the computer hardware. In between you have the operating system. Assembler is application, operating system is between to connect it with the computer hardware. So it is an interface basically between the system programs and the computer hardware. Now basic elements are processor, main memory, IO modules and system bus. So processor controls the operation of the computer. What does a processor do? It will control the operation of the computer. Processor is also referred to as the CPU, central processing unit. So it is like the brain of the computer. What it will do? It will process everything. It will give instructions for the operations to be performed. So it is nothing but the brain of a computer. Performs the data processing functions. Main memory is volatile. Contents of the main memory is lost when the computer is shut down. So when you shut down the computer, what happens? The main memory contents are erased. Referred to as the real memory or the primary memory. So it is nothing but the real memory or the primary memory. IO modules. IO modules moves the data between the computer and the external environment such as storage, example hard drive, communications equipment and terminals. So there are IO modules for the data to go from the external environment, between the external environments and the computer. System bus provides for communication among the processor, the main memory and the IO module. So who connects all these three things? It is nothing but the system bus who will connect the main module, the IO main memory, the IO modules and the processor. System bus connects these three things. Top level view. So you have a CPU, you have IO modules, you have the main memory, and this is all connected by the system bus. So this will